Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Arctic Dungeon Master. So, as you can see, this ancient relic behind me, I haven't used this poster board in quite some time. And this video, I wanted to have a little discussion. It's going to be a one-sided discussion, and I apologize about that. I would have loved to have an actual conversation with you guys. It's just technology does not allow us to do such a thing without a Zoom call, and I'm not going to Zoom call you all because I don't know really who wants to have this discussion. So if you've clicked on this thumbnail, then you're interested in what I want to talk about today, and I'll try to talk for as long as I have my energy drink going. It is a little heavy on the grapefruit though, so it might be a little too tart for me, but that's what happens when you make your own energy drinks. My apologies when I pucker up. Just think of it as a health potion, but it gives me wings like Red Bull. Anyhow, so this poster board's up, and so this video is going to be about me talking. And I'll try to talk for as long as I have this. And what I want to talk about, obviously, because you clicked on this thumbnail, I'm talking about the new Amazon show, VOX MACHINA. And at the time of this recording, I have only seen the first 6 episodes. And the next 3 episodes, I haven't watched this week's episodes. They got released last night. Today is Friday. And I haven't had a chance to watch them yet because I was trying to catch up on another Netflix show because, I don't know, I've started watching TV again. And I'm going to blame VOX MACHINA. And I'm going to be straightforward. I am not a critter. I didn't like Critical Role. I had mentioned Critical Role to some of my players. One of them really got into it. He really likes Critical Role. He's like, I'm into it for the story. And I'm like, the story's like, for me. I can't get over the dice rolling. And that I explained in another video that I did. It was a fireside chat. And it is 40 below here, or it's 20 below, sorry. I apologize. It's 20 below right now here in Alaska. And so I'm not doing a fireside chat because I don't have a fireplace in my house. So that's what this is for. Anyhow, I had a fireside chat about these podcasts. And the one that I recommend, the podcast I recommend, of course, is going to be Dark Dice. They're doing season 2 right now. Jeff Goldblum, I didn't know he could play D&D, but he can play at my table anytime. Right now I am doing the Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, which you probably can't see, but it's up there. And yes, that is Middle Earth, and that is Greenwald. If you've played Dungeon in a Box, that's that map. Middle Earth. He's cool. Token, yeah. Alright, get back on track. So, I like Dark Dice. I did not care for Critical Role. And it's like in 4 seasons. Interesting enough, I liked this special mini-series they did. The 6-episode, 8-episode Expedia, Academia, whatever it was. With, I'm going to butcher her name, Abrea. I love watching her play. I don't care about Matt Mercer. In fact, Matt Mercer is a really good player. I didn't really care for him as a dungeon master, but Abrea, or whatever her name is that I'm butchering, she was great. And I'm not a huge Critical Role fan, so I wasn't involved. I didn't really get connected with the story. I could have cared less about all of these characters going on, but I did like the way she DM'd, and that could be another video. It could very well be. Today I want to really talk about VOX MACHINA. And so going into this show, I didn't think that I was going to really enjoy it, but I was just going to watch it because it was animation, it looked bloody, it was about based off a Dungeons and Dragons game, and it was fantasy. So I pay for Amazon Prime anyways, because I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. So I might as well use it, right? So I've watched the first episode. I gotta say, it is everything I like about Dark Dice. It is just the character story. It's just the stories. There's no rolling the dice or any of that craziness. So basically, if you don't know what Vox Machina is, the Legend of Vox Machina is, you either have no access to the internet, you live under a rock, or all of the above. I live in Alaska, and I know what it is, because I play D&D and I got Facebook. So anyhow, basically they took all of the story stuff, took out all of the dice crap, yanked all that out. I would assume that they redid some of the dialogue, or they might have just kept the best parts of the dialogue. But that they based the first season off of that Critical Role podcast, the live role play, blah blah, roll the dice game. So it's just the story, and I love the story. It's great. The characters are great. I am not distracted by them rolling the dice and go, oh no, how could I do so bad, or ha ha ha. I didn't have to go through any of that stuff, and I love that. I love the story. It shows you that you can have a great Dungeons and Dragons. No, I take that back. It shows you, what's great about this is it shows you that you can have a great film or movie adaptation of a Dungeons and Dragons game or storyline. And they have always failed in doing so. Whether you look at the 2001 D&D Dungeons and Dragons movie with Jeremy Irons, he's in that. They failed at capturing that. It turned into a comedic theatrical. The animation film that was based off of the Dragonlance series, The Autumns of Twilight, I think is what it was called. It's horrible. The story's great. They have great voice actors, but the movie itself is horrible. Because no one believed in it, except for the dude who plays Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, in the Justice League movies. I forget what his name is, but he's a huge D&D fan. I think his name's Joe something. Joe Fabulous. Let's call him Joe Fabulous. He's a huge D&D nerd, and he's compared Dragonlance to Star Wars. So here is fantasy Star Wars, and we are going to crap all over it. Dragonlance movie was not worth it. I paid my $10 or $20 for it on iTunes because if I want good quality Dungeons and Dragons stuff, I need to support all the garbage that they throw out. And so I gave Vox Machina a try, and it is great. It shows you that you can have a serious and great adaptation based off a Dungeons and Dragons game. You just need the right people behind it. There were enough people involved in this because they know that the story of Critical Role is popular with their fan base. They knew that if anything else, they had enough critters to make this go at least 2 seasons. And also another thing is that it was Kickstarted. It was originally funded on Kickstarter, so there was enough of a fan base to help get this going. Fortunately, Amazon picked it up and they polished it a whole lot because the animation is more fluent and not like what you got with the Dragonlance movie, where it switched from 2D to 3D and it ruins it, you know. When you're switching from that 2D to 3D stuff, I don't care if it's because they're fighting a freaking dragon or whatnot. They have a dragon in Vox Machina in the first 3 episodes, mind you, and it's great. It's fabulous. David Tennant's the freaking dragon. Can you get any better than that? He's a Time Lord and a dragon. Way to go. first I'm like, who's this Scrooge McDuck? Because David Tennant was Scrooge McDuck in the DuckTales. So, yeah, you know. Alright, anyhow, going on. There's a whole lot of potential. Now, you might be sitting back and going, as a serious Dungeon and Dragon player, that there's too much profanity and cock jokes to be a serious story. What Dungeons and Dragon tables are you playing at? Cock jokes are pretty much all my players talk about, male and female. There's gonna be a dick joke. Everyone makes them. My players could easily fit into the shoes of the Vox Machina characters. You might want them to be like the Dragonlance characters and have these epic backstories and sacrificing themselves for the greater good. But let's be honest. They're gonna tell a cock joke. They're gonna swear. They're gonna drink it up in the tavern. My players love going to the taverns, and I guarantee yours do too. That is why every D&D adventure, the good ones, start in a tavern. There is no truer meme in the world than at the top they have the picture of the Fellowship in Riverdale. What I expect my D&D players to be. And in the bottom is Monty Python. But in reality, what they really are. Yes. Your expectation is to be these crisp, heroic characters that you get from Dragonlance. And I get that. Or the Drizzt Do'Urden series. I get that. But we're gonna get these foul-mouthed lunatics. And so I appreciate that. I like that. I really enjoyed Critical Role so far, or not Critical Role, the Vox Machina so far. It makes me excited for the future potential that D&D has as a film, television consumption. I'm really excited about the D&D TV show. The people who have been attached to it have all been high-profiled producers, writers, and directors. At least from speaking from the first John Wick movie, that's a great writer to have attached to it. So it makes me wonder what story they're adapting, for the series. I don't think that it's going to be Dragonlance, but if you think so, tell me in the comments below, alright? I really think that it could be something like based off the Drizzt Do'Urden series, because the Drow and Menzoberranzan could totally be like Game of Thronesy, and I think everyone wants to catch and ride that Game of Thrones wave and be the next Game of Thrones TV show, and I think that could be it. I think the matriarchs in the Underdark and Menzoberranzan and all that with the Drow, I see them so backstabbing like Game of Thrones. And I'm not just saying that because it's a whole bunch of women. I'm just saying that's just how they come off as when you read those books. And I think the rebellious tone of Drizzt going from Drow to the hero that he is, I think that is a story that most people who play Dungeons and Dragons can relate to. I think it will be a good story for those old players who read all the books and those new ones who have no idea who Drizzt Do'Urden is. I mean, the same could be said for the Dragonlance people. I mean, come on, Fizban's Book of Dragons. How many people bought that and had no idea who Fizban was? But they still bought the book because it says dragons. So I am looking forward to the new D&D stuff, especially with the new changes that they have going on. The two people that they just hired up, I see more as far as Wizards of the Coast. They're going to be pushing D&D for their capital to stretch it out, milk it as much as they can. So I see more of a mobile gaming aspect that they'll be pushing, but also I think that they'll be making content, viewer content, to be consumed on mobile devices, you know. So I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot of like 3-minute episodic stuff. So I wouldn't mind more animated stories of Dungeons & Dragons Legends. But I am also looking forward to that TV show. I'm not really looking forward too much for that movie that they have coming out with Hugh Grant and Michelle Rodriguez, I think is her name. And you know, I find it funny that they're making a Dungeons & Dragons movie, yet like Vin Diesel is not in it. He's a huge D&D player. The Deathstroke guy, Joe Fabulous, I'm calling him. He's huge in D&D. I've seen several interviews where he talks about his love for Dungeons & Dragons. He turned his wine cellar into a dungeon room to play in. And he's talked at length about Dragonlance being the Star Wars of D&D, of fantasy. So I'm really surprised they don't have these D&D players who are celebrities in this movie. So I have no high expectations for the movie, but I do think that Vox Machina came out at an early enough time to where Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, their parent company, are looking at this and looking at their other company that they own, E1, and going, are you paying attention? Are you going to be making a good TV show? I hope so. I hope that they realize that they can do good with the tools that they have, because it would be a complete waste on E1 to really screw this up. Alright. So I'm not done with my energy drink yet, but I'm really just rambling at this point. So please, let me know what you think. Am I completely wrong? Do you want more videos where I'm standing behind this board talking about random stuff? Let me know in the comments below. Also, what are your thoughts on Vox Machina? Let me know in the stories below. I apologize. Are you a fan of Critical Role? Tell me how stupid I am below. Are you a fan of Dark Dice? Let me know below. Are you looking forward to Dungeons & Dragons movie? Let me know below. What else have we talked about? Are you a big fan of the 2001 Dungeons & Dragons movie? Again, let me know below. Did you watch the Dragonlance cartoon? Let me know below. Would you like a live action adaptation of Dragonlance? Let me know in the comments below. Have you read the Dragonlance book, the Druids to Origin books? Let me know in the comments below. Just, if you've seen this video at this point, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you're not. Hit the like button if you think I'm retarded. Am I just spewing out random stuff from the middle of Alaska? Let me know in the comments below. But, yeah, all that wonderful jazz. Thank you for watching this video from the Arctic Dungeon Master. If you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon so you can get notifications. And if you really, really liked it, please think about supporting this channel by clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. Every little bit helps. Thanks, guys. See you next week.